It's Lippy with Gemini Homestead. We're a week in to our testing of the pond water, the rainwater, the well water, okay? And a lot of you asked, and I had forgot to bring it. But here is the kit that I've used for, I guess, about 3 years. It's the Rapid Test by Lusterleaf. And I'm sure you can go on Amazon. I don't remember where I got mine. It might have been on Amazon, might have been on eBay. I really don't know. But this is the test kit that I actually use. Okay? So, we're a week in. Now, what I'm planning on doing is coming back 4 weeks for another test. Weekly, we're going to do an updated garden video and focus on these 3 and see how they fare using the pond water, the rainwater, and the well water. Now you're asking me, well, what if it rains? Because I have tarps to cover the pond and the well. So I've got that pretty well covered. But I'm very shocked at just a week into this, the numbers that we have, okay? So we're gonna start off with the pH test. Remember, that's what we started off with last week. And across the board, they came in 7.5, okay? Across the board. Today, the well, see I have it marked a W, an R, and a P. The well today on the pH test came in 6.5. We were 7.5 last week. We're at a 6.5. It's on the slight acidic side, okay? Now we're going to go with the phosphorus. If y'all remember, it was at a P3, which is sufficient. Y'all, we had a P2. Nope, P2. So a P2 still says adequate. So we've dropped. Okay, so our pH dropped from 7.5 to 6.5. Our phosphorus went from P3 to P2. Now, let's check our potash. Last week we were on K2, which is adequate. Today we're at sufficient, so it came up. Then we're going to go to the nitrogen, okay? We were at an N1, which is deficient, remember? We've went up to an N2, which is adequate. And I've done nothing but water these, okay? Of course, I'm going to tell y'all now I'm fixing to pump the nitrogen. I'm just going to tell y'all. Now that I've got a good reading, I'm fixing to pump. But we were at an N1, which was deficient. We've moved up to adequate, an N2. All I've done is water, okay? Now, we're going to go to the rainwater, or the rain plant, should I say. All right, last week we were at a 7.5 on the pH. We're at a 7.5 today. On the phosphorus, we were at a P3, which is sufficient. We have dropped to a P2, which is adequate. On the potash, we were at a K2, which is adequate, but we have jumped to K3, which is sufficient. I almost put it as a surplus, but it wasn't quite dark enough. So I'm going to settle at a high K3. So we've moved up. Now we're going to go to the nitrogen. We stayed the same. We are deficient. So we stayed the same, okay? Remember, on the well, we went up to a 2. On the rain, we stayed an N1. Okay, so we know what we need to do. Now, on the pond water, a lot of you was questioning these numbers. All right, last week, The pH was 7.5, which is alkaline, a little acidic. Today, we are still at a 7.5. Okay? The phosphorus, we were at a P3 sufficient. We have depleted to a P2, which is adequate, but y'all, I almost listed it as a P1 deficient. But there again, it was laying on that line, so I'm gonna give it a P2. So we have gone down. All right, we're gonna go to the potash. The potash was at K2, adequate. The potash today is sufficient, K3, almost surplus of K4. I almost marked it too, but I had Buddy come in and check the colors too with me. 2 eyes are better than one. If there was a number like a 3.5, I would give it. Now we're going to go with the nitrogen. We were at an N1. We're still at an N1. So these three have one thing in common: low nitrogen. Only the well came up a number. The well came up a number in the potash. The well decreased in the phosphorus, which were still adequate. And it rapidly decreased with the pH. If we're going to go with the rain, okay, now that was the well. We're depleted on nitrogen. We remained the same on the potash. We remained, let's see, no, we dropped 1 on the phosphorus. And the pH stayed the same. So by these numbers, the well water by number showed a better increase than the rain or than the pond. Numbers don't lie. So we do know that we got to increase the nitrogen. I do know that I need to work on my well to get my pH back up, okay? That's the only one I'm going to be concerned with, is the pH on the well and equal nitrogen on these three. And then in 4 weeks, we're going to come back and check these numbers. Now, you're going to ask, well, how did I test? Okay? How I tested, and this will be a better spot. I pulled this back, okay? Because the plants are small. And I dug deep into just the soil and pulled out a cup of soil to 5 cups of rainwater. And I'm just using it as an example. I did the same on the other 2. And I let this sit 7 hours. 7 hours. I figured in 7 hours I'll get a true reading. Then when I got through testing, there was a hole here. All I did was dump the water as well as the soil back into it and covered it up. So it's fine, okay? Did not disturb the plant whatsoever. So I'm gonna pull these sticks out and we'll use them on the next testing, but we'll do a weekly update of seeing the growth, so we know what we need to do. And in 4 weeks, I want to check this soil again. So right now, the well won out of the 3 by number chart, in my opinion. Because the only thing that changed with the well, which didn't hurt it, was, that way y'all put me in check. I don't want to state the wrong thing. Never want to state the wrong thing. The only thing that it changed was the potash, and it got it to sufficient where it was only adequate. So there was positive. Also, the nitrogen, remember, increased. The others went down, except for the pH. they both stay the same on the pH. The well did go down on the pH. But still across the board, because if you look at the pH, it's just slightly acidic. That's very fixable, y'all. So, that was a shocker. I actually was betting on the rainwater. Some of y'all were betting on the pond water. But the betting's not over. In 4 weeks, we're going to test and tune. Now, if I see a massive increase now that our heat temperatures are coming up and I'm fixing to put my foot in it with the nitrogen up until we get a good bloom, and then I'll shut that down. I might test in 2-3 weeks. But right now, I'm going to test it 4 weeks unless I see a massive change. And of course, y'all will too on the weekly updates. Then if there's a drastic change, we're fixing to do another test. But here it is, the Luster Leaf Rapid Test Soil Kit. I'm trying to think. I think you get, I don't know, well, there's 40 tests, so there's 10 tablets to each test, okay? 10 tablets to each test. So that's where we stand, y'all. Now, I got chicken on the grill. I got to go finish supper. But I'll see y'all next week on the garden. No, I'll see y'all sooner than that. I'm doing that chicken video that I'm fixing to go pull off the grill. So, until next time, God bless.